There is a silent war happening inside every human mind. Most people never notice it. They live their entire lives as soldiers who never realized they were enlisted. Their reactions are predicted. Their emotions are triggered on command. Their anger is harvested. Their fear is monetized. Their attention is stolen. And they call this freedom. But there has always existed a different type of human being. Not louder, not more aggressive, not more visible, but unreachable. This individual cannot be provoked easily, cannot be emotionally hijacked, cannot be manipulated by praise or destroyed by insult, not because they are smarter in the academic sense, but because they govern themselves. And here is the uncomfortable truth. The person who controls their inner world becomes uncontrollable to the outer world. This is the brain hack no one teaches you, not in school, not in society, not even in most philosophies, because a population that masters itself cannot be ruled easily. Tonight, we are not here to feel inspired. We are here to change how the mind operates. And once you understand this, once we understand this, you will never be emotionally accessible in the same way again. The forgotten power, inner sovereignty. Power has always been misunderstood. Most people think power is domination. Stoic individuals know it is independence. Machiavelli observed something brutal but accurate. People are easier to control when their emotions control them. But the ancient Stoics went further. The man who conquers himself is beyond conquest. Look around. People are offended instantly. Anger erupts without permission. Anxiety decides their future before reason is consulted. This is not sensitivity. This is exposure. When your emotions are visible, they are usable. When your reactions are predictable, they are programmable. The Stoic mind does something radical. It interrupts impulse. Between stimulus and response, it inserts command. And in that pause, power is born. The real brain hack, emotional delay. Let us say something dangerous but true. Intelligence is not speed of thought. Intelligence is control over reaction. Most people react instantly and think later. The disciplined mind reverses this order. It waits. This waiting is not weakness. It is not passivity. It is calculated restraint. When insult arrives, the Stoic does not defend ego. When praise arrives, the Stoic does not inflate identity. Why? Because the Stoic does not outsource self-worth to external noise. This is the first brain hack. Delay is dominance. The person who can pause longer than you controls the situation. Why most people are easy to control. Let us be honest with ourselves. We have all been manipulated before. Not always by evil people, often by systems, by expectations, by invisible social pressure. Why? Because emotional triggers are shortcuts. Anger bypasses logic. Fear bypasses reason. Desire bypasses foresight. The Stoic mind trains the mind to notice the trigger before it becomes action. This is not suppression, it is observation. You feel anger rising, but you do not become anger. You experience fear, but you do not obey fear. You acknowledge desire, but you do not kneel to it. This is how one becomes uncontrollable. The Stoic method of mental superiority. Here is the uncomfortable reality. Most people do not think, they react. They confuse emotional intensity with truth. They mistake urgency for importance. The Stoic mind is trained differently. It asks 3 questions, silently, instantly, and relentlessly. Is this within my control? Does reacting improve my position? What does mastery demand right now? This internal questioning system is the real intelligence amplifier. Not memorization, not information overload, but discernment.
Why self-control terrifies manipulators. A self-controlled individual cannot be rushed, cannot be emotionally blackmailed, cannot be socially cornered. They do not argue unnecessarily, they do not explain themselves excessively, they do not seek validation compulsively.
They move deliberately. This makes them unpredictable. And unpredictability, when combined with discipline, creates psychological gravity. People begin to watch you, listen to you, project authority onto you, not because you demand it, but because you withhold reaction. The dark truth about emotional expression. Society tells us, express everything, let it out, be authentic. But no one warns us that unfiltered expression creates vulnerability. Stoicism does not teach emotional denial, it teaches emotional governance. Not every thought deserves a voice. Not every feeling deserves action. Not every battle deserves participation. The Stoic understands silence is often the most intelligent response. The machinery of control and how to escape it. Modern control does not use chains, it uses stimulation, endless outrage, endless comparison, endless distraction. The overstimulated mind cannot think deeply, cannot plan long-term, cannot resist impulse. So the Stoic does something radical. They reduce noise, they simplify desire, they train attention, they reclaim stillness. Stillness is not emptiness, it is clarity. We begin to see differently. As we practice this discipline, something shifts. We stop reacting immediately. We stop explaining ourselves unnecessarily. We stop chasing approval. We begin to observe people instead of absorbing them, and this observation brings insight. We see patterns. We notice manipulation. We detect emotional leverage, not to exploit, but to remain untouched. The Stoic paradox of power. The more control you have over yourself, the less control others have over you. The less reactive you become, the more strategic your actions feel. This is not cruelty, this is clarity. Machiavelli observed power externally. Stoicism builds it internally, and internal power lasts longer. The first transformation. At this stage, something subtle happens. We stop needing to win arguments. We stop needing to prove intelligence. We stop needing to dominate conversations. Why? Because we are no longer insecure about silence. Silence becomes a weapon not against others, but against our own impulses. Where this path leads. If we continue, if we truly commit to this discipline, we become harder to manipulate, harder to provoke, harder to emotionally access, but easier to respect, easier to trust, easier to follow. This is the paradox. The Stoic understanding of emotion, not enemy, not master. There is a common misunderstanding. People think the disciplined mind is cold, detached, unfeeling. That is false. The disciplined mind feels everything, but obeys nothing blindly. Emotion is information, not instruction. Anger tells us something is violated. Fear tells us something feels uncertain. Desire tells us something appears valuable. But the Stoic mind asks a dangerous question. Does this emotion deserve authority? Most people never ask this. They kneel instantly, and in that kneeling, they surrender their power. Anger, the most expensive emotion. Let us speak about anger. Anger feels powerful, it feels righteous, it feels justified. But anger is the most exploited emotion in human history. Angry people are predictable. Angry people rush. Angry people expose themselves. The Stoic does not suppress anger. They delay it. They examine it. They ask, what exactly am I angry about? Is this about principle or ego? Will expression improve my position or satisfy my impulse? Most anger dies under questioning, and what survives questioning deserves strategy, not explosion. This is how anger is transmuted into precision. Fear, the quiet architect of chains. Fear is more subtle than anger. It does not shout, it whispers. Don't risk it. Stay where it's safe. What if you fail? What will they think? Fear creates invisible prisons, comfortable ones, familiar ones. The Stoic individual does not mock fear, they interrogate it. They ask, is this fear about survival or discomfort? Is the danger real or imagined? What is the cost of obedience? Here is the brutal truth. Fear obeyed today becomes limitation tomorrow. The Stoic chooses voluntary discomfort over unconscious fear. Cold discipline, hard decisions, delayed gratification, not to suffer, but to remain free. Desire, the most beautiful trap. Desire is dangerous because it does not look dangerous. It promises pleasure, validation, belonging, status. But desire makes us negotiable. The moment you need something, you can be controlled through it. Approval, attention, affection, recognition. The Stoic reduces desire not by force, but by clarity. They ask, do I want this or do I want what it represents? Will this desire strengthen me or weaken me? What happens if I don't get it? Most desires collapse when stripped of illusion, and the ones that remain are chosen consciously. The Stoic brain hack, internal hierarchy. Here is the real mechanism that makes the Stoic mind appear 10x smarter. It has a hierarchy. Most people let emotions sit at the top. Impulse commands action. Reason justifies afterward. The Stoic reverses this structure. At the top, principles, long-term vision, self-respect. Below that, reason, observation, strategy. At the bottom, emotion, impulse, reaction. Emotion is consulted, not crowned. This internal order changes everything. Why silence multiplies intelligence. There is something unsettling about a silent person. They don't react immediately. They don't rush to fill space. They don't explain themselves compulsively. Silence creates uncertainty. Uncertainty creates attention. The Stoic understands. The less you say, the more people project. Silence allows others to reveal themselves, their insecurities, their intentions, their impatience. Meanwhile, you remain intact. The Stoic response to insult and praise. Insult and praise are two sides of the same chain. Both attempt to control behavior. Insult tries to provoke reaction. Praise tries to condition compliance. The Stoic accepts neither blindly. They treat insult as noise. They treat praise as data. Neither defines identity. Why? Because identity rooted externally is fragile. The Stoic builds identity internally, through discipline, through consistency, through action aligned with principle. We begin to notice a shift. At this stage, something subtle but profound happens to us. We no longer feel the urge to respond instantly, defend every perception, correct every misunderstanding. Not because we are passive, but because we are selective. Energy becomes valuable. Attention becomes guarded. Time becomes sacred. We begin to ask, is this worthy of my reaction?
Most things are not. The psychology of being uncontrollable. People who cannot provoke you cannot dominate you. People who cannot rush you cannot manipulate you. People who cannot read your emotional state cannot predict your behavior. This is not secrecy. This is sovereignty. The Stoic does not hide emotions. They own them privately. Public composure, private reflection. This dual structure creates psychological armor, the dark advantage of emotional restraint. Here is something few admit. People respect what they cannot access easily, not because of cruelty, but because scarcity creates value. The Stoic does not overshare, does not overreact, does not overexplain, and this restraint creates gravity. Others slow down around them, choose words carefully, seek approval unconsciously, not because the Stoic demands respect, but because they command themselves. Control without control. Machiavelli observed how power operates in others. Stoicism perfects how power operates in us. When we do not chase dominance, dominance arrives quietly. When we do not seek control, we become uncontrollable. This is the paradox. The second transformation. By now we notice our reactions have slowed, our emotions feel less chaotic, our decisions feel heavier but cleaner. We are no longer living moment to moment. We are thinking in arcs, in consequences, in alignment. The mind begins to feel quiet, not empty, focused. This is where the path narrows. Not everyone who begins this journey reaches this point, not because it is complicated, but because it is demanding. Up to now, we have learned to observe emotion, to delay reaction, to reclaim inner order. But observation alone is not mastery. Mastery begins when discipline replaces emotion as the guiding force. This is the final shift. This is where a human being becomes psychologically independent. The great illusion, motivation. Most people wait for motivation. They wait to feel ready, to feel confident, to feel inspired. And because feelings are unstable, their lives remain unstable. The disciplined mind understands something brutal. Motivation is unreliable. Discipline is permanent. The Stoic does not ask, "How do I feel today?" They ask, "What does the moment demand?" Action is not negotiated with emotion. Emotion adapts after action. This single reversal, acting first, feeling later, separates the free from the controlled. Fortitude, the hidden core of intelligence. Fortitude is misunderstood. People think it means endurance, pain tolerance, stubbornness, but fortitude is something deeper. Fortitude is the ability to remain aligned with principle under pressure. Anyone can be virtuous when life is easy. Anyone can be calm when nothing is at stake. But when insult arrives, when fear tightens the chest, when temptation whispers, that is when identity is tested. The Stoic does not ask, "What is easiest?" They ask, "What is worthy of me?" This question becomes the axis of decision-making. The destruction of emotional dependency. Here we reach a dangerous truth. Most suffering does not come from events, but from attachment to emotional outcomes, needing approval, needing recognition, needing certainty, needing comfort. These needs become levers, and anything that can be used as a lever can be used as control. The Stoic removes these levers one by one, not by rejecting relationships, not by isolating, but by ending dependency. Connection without dependency, affection without weakness, ambition without desperation. This is emotional adulthood.
Why most people never feel free. They are free externally, but enslaved internally. They can move anywhere, but cannot escape their impulses. They can speak, but cannot remain silent. They can choose, but only within the limits of fear and desire. The Stoic redefines freedom. Freedom is obedience to the right inner authority, not society, not emotion, not impulse, but reason aligned with principle. This obedience creates liberation. The Stoics' use of power, never wasted. Power is energy, and energy wasted on arguments, resentment, jealousy, comparison is energy stolen from purpose. The Stoic becomes extremely selective. They do not react to everything. They do not fight every battle. They do not attend every drama. Not because they are above it, but because they are focused. Focus is power refined. We no longer need to prove anything. At this stage, something dissolves. The need to impress, the need to dominate, the need to win. We stop performing intelligence. We stop advertising strength. We simply are. And paradoxically, this quiet certainty attracts more respect than loud assertion ever did. The final brain hack: internal consistency. The world is chaotic. People are inconsistent. Circumstances are unstable. The Stoic creates one constant: the self. Same values in private and public. Same discipline when watched and unwatched. Same restraint in victory and loss. This consistency builds trust, first within, then around. When you trust yourself, you stop seeking reassurance. And when you stop seeking reassurance, you become impossible to manipulate. Why this makes you impossible to control? Let us say it clearly now. You are impossible to control when insults do not move you, praise does not intoxicate you, fear does not freeze you, desire does not command you. You are not passive, you are not indifferent, you are governed, and governance is the highest form of intelligence. The Stoic and the world. The Stoic does not withdraw from the world. They engage it cleanly. They speak when necessary. They act when required. They withdraw when useful. They do not confuse noise with importance. They do not confuse urgency with value. They play the long game. We stand differently now. If you have followed this path honestly, you feel it. A subtle shift. The mind feels heavier but clearer. The emotions feel quieter but sharper. We no longer rush. We no longer chase. We no longer beg the world to treat us kindly. We treat ourselves with discipline, and the world adjusts. The final truth. This was never about being smarter than others. It was about being unreachable by chaos. It was about standing still while the world pulls itself apart. It was about mastering the one thing no one else can master for us, the self. And once the self is governed, nothing external can truly dominate it. The quiet ascent. We do not announce this transformation. We do not seek recognition for it. We walk forward, calm, disciplined, watchful, and slowly, without force, without noise, we become what the world cannot move.